It's a little wet out here. This video is for YouTube user Careica. Please forgive me if I mispronounce that. Okay. Now, what we got here is the trunk of my, the hood of my Caprice. Before, my hood was jammed up against the front clip. Okay. This gap is a little too much. I've adjusted the hood, and what I've done is I've adjusted the hood a little too far, because now my one wiper blade gets jammed when it goes into park. Now it's not a tight, it's a tight squeeze, it's not exactly affecting anything, but what it is doing, it's hitting this piece of trim here, and I just do not want it that tight. So what I'm going to do, go over to the hood, pop it, raise the hood. Okay, now I'm not sure what kind of vehicle you're working on, but me, I got 4 bolts, and you're going to need a 13mm socket. Do not remove these bolts, okay, unless you plan on removing the hood. All I'm going to do here is loosen them off just a little bit. Do the same to the other two. Okay, so when you get on your last bolt, you know, just loosen it off, maybe 3 turns or 2.5 turns, whatever. I'm not sure what kind of vehicle you're working on, you know. If you have a Caprice like I do, or an Olds 88 or Careica, whatever, more than likely you have a spring-loaded hinge type of system here, where the hood will actually hold itself up. This makes the task a little easier. Now, if your hood is smacking the front fender here, you'll have to shift your hood around and try and get it lined up. My problem lies with the windshield wipers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grasp the hood and just pull on it, just like this. Okay. Now I'm going to close it. Okay, now you can see I got it way too far out of whack. Actually, you know what? That might not be too bad. Kind of got it figured out the way you want it. Keep your hood about this distance and tighten up the bolts on all 4 corners, all 4 of them. Then close your hood. Alright, so this is sort of what you're trying to aim for, is about a gap, about that much. Notice over here we got too much of a gap, and it's pretty close to my quarter panel. It's not hitting it, but it's a little too close. And notice over here that you got more gap here. So what's going to have to be done is the hood is going to have to be pushed over that way more. It is tedious, and you know, if somebody took the hood of your car off, like it happens, you'll buy a vehicle where the hood has been removed, and it's just not aligned properly, right? It happens. Okay, so over here is a little too tight, so definitely some adjustments are going to have to be made. Another thing I should mention too is there's a little bit of a ridge here. This should be almost flush. A ridge here is actually not bad. Now, if I pop the hood again and bring you around here, you'll notice that these little bumpers here, you might have to adjust them as well. There's 2 on each side. Notice this one sits higher than this one. So what's most likely happened here is somebody's already adjusted the hood for whatever reason. This car looks like it has been painted. It wasn't painted by me, but one of the owners must have painted it. I'm the 3rd owner of this car, so This isn't the original paint, I can tell you that. So by the look of it, either the first or the second owner before me obviously made adjustments to this hood, and they didn't scribe marks over here. What I usually do when I gotta remove a hood is I'll take a bottle of whiteout and I'll make a mark around the washer or the bolt, and that way I kind of know exactly how it's supposed to be put back on, and then you don't have to screw around with all this adjustment. Now, I'm not sure what kind of vehicle you own, but there are two on each side, one there, one down there, and yeah, don't forget about your little bumpers too. So when you go to tighten them up, I usually leave the hood around this area here, so that, you know, if you tighten your bolts while the hood is up, well, chances are while you're tightening it, if your ratchet hits here, right, it'll make enough vibration that the hood could actually slide back on you, and you don't want that. You know, you might be going at it with your ratchet under here, and the end of your ratchet will hit this, right? And the vibration could actually send the hood to just slowly crawl backwards. So what I do personally, you know, there are people that are going to argue with it, argue with what I tell you. I usually leave the hood right around here so that it's kind of level, you know. So if you do hit it with your ratchet, or, you know, one of your drunken buddies decides to headbutt you or whatever, you know, the hood isn't going to come back and screw everything up on you. So that's a little bit of information for you. You know, some people might argue with me, but hey, you know what? It's the way I do it, and personally, it works just the same. So, so that's pretty much that. You know, this could take you 15 minutes, or it could take you 2 days. You know, depends on. It depends all on how much of a perfectionist you are. To me, I prefer my vehicles to be in perfect alignment, especially the hood and the trunk lid, so everything latches and closes properly. Because if it isn't aligned properly, well, it won't close properly either. So, you know, a little bit of information for you. Hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that helps. We'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Have a nice evening. We'll catch you right back here this weekend.